think I can hear.
Too loud, too quiet?
No, it's perfect.
Are you sure?
I'm ready.
It's quite amazing.
Ask not what your
Houseboys.
can do for you.
We're back. We are back.
So back.
This is the Houseboys podcast.
Yo.
I am Max, the co-host, with Parker,
What happened?
the other co-host.
What happened?
Did you black out?
Where am I? Wait, where are we?
We're back.
What year is it?
It's 2023.
What happened?
A lot has happened. A lot has happened.
I
a good question.
I feel like I've aged.
Probably. I aged.
In a good way.
I don't remember any of the past 5 months.
Well, we're going to catch everyone up today on everything
are.
that has happened,
Everything.
even outside of motorsport.
Yep.
We're going over everything.
We're going to go over movies,
Wait,
music.
really? I got
Oh,
somewhere
yeah.
to be.
Oh, okay, maybe not.
I think a lot of the fans have been wondering too. I've been getting almost weekly messages from listeners asking, like, "Hey,
Where am I? What year is it?
where am I? What year is it?" And I'm like, "Dude, I don't know.
Goo goo.
I know it's 2023,
We've instructed.
but ask someone else around you where you are,
Yeah.
because I can't help you there.
No.
Yeah, help yourself.
Learn to help yourself.
Learn to help yourself, and then we'll help you.
Gunter helps those who helps themselves.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
And as followers of Haas, that's what we believe.
And so it is such, so such shall be unto us as well.
Definitely.
Father.
This is great. This is so great that we're back
It is. It's so great.
already. Okay, I'm going to start out with a question that has been on my mind.
And then some answers later, right?
And then some answers later. I'm posing this to both of you.
Okay.
Since livery started coming out, guys, how much does paint weigh?
10 or 12, I think.
10 or 12?
Yeah.
I think you're onto it.
Somewhere around there.
Somewhere around there. Ballpark it.
I'm kind of a DIY guy, so I do know this stuff. And I have it on good authority. It's 10 or 12.
10 or 12. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mike?
You agree?
It's grams.
Grams.
It's worth grams.
But on a big old car like that,
Grams add
probably
up.
quite a bit.
So, we kind of got into it at different points last year in episodes, talking about technical down to the like tiniest of aspects of the car.
Right.
And when they're like, we're shaving paint, just going carbon fiber because everyone's doing black carbon fiber.
Right.
I'm like, is it really weigh that much?
Not that much, though. But you got to put a lot of layers on, but not that much, because you've still got to put sealant layers on carbon fiber. Mm-hmm. Because carbon fiber is actually, the surface of it can be kind of abrasive, so you have to like sand it down, and it looks kind of bad until you hit it with like a sealant. And so they've got to do it anyways. But
Right.
I'll bet they're shaving. If I was to guess, I would say like 2.5 pounds.
Pounds of paint
Yeah.
are saved.
Yeah.
Do you know an actual figure on
I
this?
don't.
Oh, okay.
But
I haven't looked it up.
And this is the thing that like I've been
could-
thinking about because
Actually, probably more than that. It could
Really?
be more like 10 or 15 pounds. Because you just think, like, how much you're holding a bucket of paint
right.
to paint your car.
Uh-huh.
How much paint are you holding
true.
in your hand?
That's true.
Like, probably like 15 pounds of paint
Yeah.
to paint your car.
And if they're doing a wrap, there's still weight to that wrap.
And a lot
Right.
of that is water, though, in the paint or oil. So I'm gonna come in at 5 pounds.
You know, I don't know the answer. And I wonder because everyone's like taking off the paint, the carbon fiber. There's a lot of black liveries, and we need to get into the liveries, especially Haas crushing it with their livery.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm just like, is it all for show? Are they just doing it to be like, hey, we're doing everything it takes to take weight off?
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Because I don't know,
Yeah.
man. Like,
It's probably that.
Yeah.
You're probably right.
It's a dramatic difference for especially Alfa Romeo, definitely Mercedes. I mean, we can immediately call out their car since they went to silver for a year and went back to a black
Yeah.
car. But a kind of a cool, interesting story to that is that Mercedes was known as the Silver Arrow because did you know that the original Mercedes F1 car was white?
so not silver.
They painted it. And to save weight, they sanded the paint off and it was silver.
What year is this about?
1950s when
Oh.
the sport first started.
When metal was the
Yeah, when an aluminum car
working
was
material.
yeah, for sure. So Mercedes Silver Arrow was a weight-saving game back then. So them having a black car is technically very much in the spirit of Mercedes.
So they've been doing it for decades.
Forever.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
It is kind of cool.
But like, is it just going to get to the point where they're all black cars?
I mean, at this stage, if you can save a few pounds or whatever, what did you find?
Toto's going to be so mad. I'm telling you guys. If you feel that you want to have a black car and you feel that it's going to go into the wall,
just holding up his paper, like in that episode of Drive to Survive. We'll get to that too, but just like, you guys, the paint is worth waiting way more than you think.
If you guys don't think it's worth that kind, I'm coming after you.
It is too dangerous not to paint your car.
That's going to be some dangerous driving.
The marshals have to be able to see the car.
I got a number.
Toto, just paint your fucking car.
Toto, you sure you don't want...
Christian impersonation, actually.
I would love a circle of principals telling Toto to paint the car, not to like worry about porpoising.
Toto, paint your car. That's Christian, right?
Yeah.
Toto, you sure you don't want to talk about this outside of the cameras? No, I don't care. I'm an old man. I don't care anymore.
Checo says he hates the paint.
And then Gunter.
He's never said that.
And then a hush goes over all the principals.
It's time to go painting.
Time to go painting.
Time to go painting. I got a number.
What's your number?
What is it?
What are your final guesses?
Okay. Pounds. Should we do it? Is it in pounds?
Mine's already locked because I've seen it.
Is it in pounds?
I've converted to pounds.
Okay. Oof. See, of course, I'm on the side that it's minimal. I'm going to say like 1.8 pounds.
Okay.
I'm also not an engineer.
Yeah, I don't know.
What's it?
I feel like I need to go in the middle, like Price is Right now, and land somewhere at like 3 pounds.
Okay.
What do you think?
13.5.
Wow.
Pounds.
Yep.
That is significant.
That is a good weight savings.
But it kind of makes sense. Like you've got the bucket of paint.
You're right.
And then a lot of that's water or oil that's coming out. But you're doing like 2 buckets of paint. It's like 15 pounds each. So it comes down to like 15 pounds.
And when you think about
15 pounds, that's a ton.
And when you think about 15 pounds that you can put into machinery or some suspension part or something to make more robust.
Wow.
Like a 6x6 or like probably like an 8x8 inch piece of aluminum billet, which is what they make all these parts out of. That's like this big, square. That's about 15 pounds.
Bro, okay.
So that's a lot of machinery, man.
Okay, that's very significant. That's amazing.
But they probably just have never thought about it because that's where the money's at.
Yeah.
It's like 15 pounds. You know how many dollars that is per pound?
Right.
A ton of dollars per pound.
Especially in sponsorships and some other things if they need to meet a certain color standard or whatever.
Yeah.
They also didn't say if this was, clear coat,
right,
top layers and stuff like that. So we're not talking 15 pounds.
This is speculative.
We're talking like they're probably saving like 5 or 6.
Right.
Because I'm sure a lot of that is stuff that still has to go on anyways.
They got paint from like NASA that doesn't weigh anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my final opinion is that it's just all bluster. It's like we're so committed to making a fast car that we didn't put any paint on.
Well, speaking of liveries, like, let's go over some of our favorite liveries. We missed all the livery launches when we were like on hiatus. Some of us were blacked out. But like, I mean, Haas. Let's just start with Haas. They came out first, right?
Looks great.
And came out of the gate the best.
Well, let's just talk about guac is still extra, but Chipotle's on the car. I'm excited. That's
You're a huge
really awesome.
Chipotle fan.
I do.
Do you like Chipotle?
Chipotle?
Chipotle.
No,
it's
gracious.
It's Chipotle.
If you're over 50, it is the hardest word to say.
Chipotle. Chipotle.
Chipotle.
Chapelet.
Chop. Chipotle. Chop. Chipotle.
So Chipotle.
Yes.
We got him.
Yeah, we got him.
I would say if I get to wear Haas gear into a Chipotle, then I get guac free.
I mean, I don't know about that, but
Okay, Max.
He's got a point.
All right.
I'll say that I feel that if you compare the Haas side by side with Porsche's last Formula E car, they are very similar in livery. Therefore, I love what they did.
Okay.
I like that the car is black, red, and white. It has a good menacing look to it. It's
does.
aggressive.
Yeah.
And it looks freaking fast.
It looks like previous like versions of the Haas livery from a few years ago.
Right.
And I like that.
Totally.
Yeah, I liked last year's livery so much. I'll be
Yeah.
honest. White with the red Haas.
It was really simple
Really pure
and cool.
and really cool.
Yeah.
I think I like last year over this year.
I
if
kind
I'm
of do
being
too.
honest. Yeah.
But I'm
Black
still a
is
fan of the
pretty
new
done.
one.
Like white is just a little bit bolder.
It kind of is, and it stood out. And I think people, as liveries started coming in, like Alfa Romeo is like all black. Everyone just kept realizing, oh, it's going to be hard to tell these cars apart
Yeah,
when
for
they're
sure.
flying by.
Oh, I mean, it already is.
It's pretty hard.
Like even for me, having watched quite a while now, I'm squinting some. For a second, I'm squinting still. Mm-hmm. But they kept that big fat Haas on the side, which is so cool. It's a little more stylized now.
Are they going to keep the Haas on the rear wing? It's so far in testing, it's there, right?
Yeah, I believe that's there.
That's cool.
And I would say that the other factor here, if we segue to another car, is the thing that I'm the most excited about, which is Ferrari put their name on the wing. Like, to me, it's actually such a win.
Such
it's
a
so
sacrifice.
cool. I love it. I think it is. I don't know why Mercedes, and actually, in fact, I'll just go ahead and say, let's vote on this. Manufacturers are forced to put the logo of their brand on the rear spoiler from here out. All those in favor?
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh,
Yeah. But
Any
I'm like,
opposed? Like,
Merce-
what
yeah,
are you
yeah.
doing here?
We're voting. We're voting. All three of us on board.
Anyone veto?
But Ferrari having it on the wing to me is just like, why hasn't that been there always?
Yeah.
It is very Nigel Mansell era of Ferrari to me. And so second I saw it, I was hyped.
Yeah, I would love that too. That's a fun idea.
It would
And then
just be
just see
cool.
those like flying by. It's really cool because that's what the sport is at its core. These cars.
Right.
Yeah.
So glad that we moved on from the green.
Oh, the
Ferrari
Rasta
thing.
Ferrari.
What was on the wing last year?
It was a Mission Winnow on the fin, on the spine.
Okay. Yeah.
A green Mission Winnow on the spine of the car. Really bad.
Really bad.
And
Clashed.
and it's funny because we found that it was actually a match to like a Coca-Cola can
Oh,
from
yeah.
that same year. There was like a Coke Nitro coffee can that had that same thing.
Yeah.
And it's just, they're just doing it because it's ugly and it catches your eye,
Yeah.
but it's ugly.
Yeah.
I'm down with the yellow
I
this
think
year.
it was actually, in another way as well, Mission Winnow is owned by Marlboro, the cigarette brand.
It
Of
is.
course. Yeah.
It is
And-
Marlboro.
Right. And
Which I wouldn't mind on the rear wing.
no, but Marlboro is banned from being able to advertise in Formula One.
Max, you're a Marlboro man, aren't you?
I am.
Yeah.
I smoke 3 Marlboro men a day.
Marble men? The
I
men
don't think that's what they meant. What are you doing?
Well, whatever the ads tell me to do.
Oh, now that I understand.
Oh, this all makes sense now.
Yeah.
No, but during Michael Schumacher's era, when the rule got put in, they ran a barcode for a cigarette pack
Amazing.
on the car as a subtle Marlboro sponsor. And
love it.
They have continued to break this rule and bend it so they could continue to sponsor Ferrari. And I believe that FIA said the red and white with the Mission Winnow still looks like the Marlboro logo. So
And
it
they're like,
can't live.
"Oh, what?"
And so I think they forced him to run it green because they were like, if you want that on there, it can't be white. And so they were like,
really?
fine, green, which was just such a bad choice.
Such a bad choice.
It looked horrendous.
Yeah, go with
So-
black or yellow. I don't know what the rules were, but
Yeah.
green is the worst.
Yeah, green was a really bad choice.
But Ferrari's looking really good this year.
They do look
It
good.
does look good. That yellow is cool.
And like we talked about, Mercedes looks cool. Everyone else looks pretty much the same. Aston Martin essentially traded white for black. It's almost the same design as last year.
Can we please talk about their livery reveal party?
Oh, did I say
Aston Martin.
Aston Martin? Or I meant Alfa Romeo. My bad.
Aston Martin with the best livery reveal party ever. In that it was Lance Stroll front and center
Just-
and his charm to the world.
Just the cringiest human.
And he keeps getting worse.
it somehow isn't improving.
I think his batteries are running out.
He's just winding down.
Yeah, there's
Can't
not-
keep 2
not enough
sentences
voltage
together.
in that brain.
Shoot, man, if you're listening and if you haven't seen it, I'm sure you can go on YouTube and find that Aston Martin. Just fast forward to the part where they take the blanket off the car and Lance and Alonso are there looking at it. And she asked Lance, "What do you think about it?" He's like, "Oh, it's cool." Yeah, and I
Looks
hope that
fast.
it's as fast as what I want. It's cool and what it looks like.
And
It's like
the PR person is like, yeah, okay, yeah, perfect.
He did good. He did it. Yes.
he's forming
Nailed it.
words.
Yeah, he's forming words. He's saying the things we wanted him to.
And it's always like kind of nasally. Yeah, he's just a little boy.
I love that we were sharing around today that the F1 drivers posted F1 posted the pictures of the drivers
I
holding
got
a
this from
chalkboard.
one of our listeners, Devin. He's been like sending me messages all throughout the break, and
Yes.
this was today, and it killed me.
And
What?
Lance is holding a sign that is like a chalkboard and it has some answers on it.
All the drivers hold up like my first day back. It's a dumb school
Yeah,
promo.
yeah, and it's like favorite food,
Yeah.
how many seasons, whatever. And then the bottom, it's like this year I will. And all Lance put was great.
With the smiley face. This year I will
Great.
And then it's another nitpick, but it's just as stupid. It's like my pump up song,
Favorite-
my
my
hype
hype-up
song.
song.
It's just Future. It's like I think he means the artist.
But he could mean the Back to the Future soundtrack.
Huey Lewis and the
Huey
News.
Lewis and the News. Yeah,
for
he's
sure.
crushing
I think
it.
that's where he's going.
Oh yeah,
Dad showed me Back to the Future.
I finally was allowed to watch it.
I really liked it.
What team do you race for, Lance? Dad.
It made me think about
What are you
my
gonna do
mom.
this year? Great. Who's your favorite band?
Dad?
Yeah, that's been my favorite thing.
Holy crap. But what would we do without Lance, man?
No, we wouldn't laugh as much. Daniel's gone.
Daniel's gone.
So where the laugh's gonna come from? Not from actual wit, but from
yeah.
but from
Lewis is kind of funny.
honestly, he kind of is.
Yeah, he's
Kind of is. He's been working on his material.
He's kind of.
I think he got together with some writers.
Yeah, he got together with Dane Cook and Chris D'Elia and Louis C.K. They weren't doing anything.
Yeah.
they were happy to sit down with the humorless F1 driver and help him with some material.
It's paying dividends. Paying dividends. Man, speaking of Mercedes drivers and their fun wit, like, dude, we've blown past liveries. Anything else you need to say about liveries before we get into like what else?
I mean,
Because I want to just start talking about. I've only seen 2 episodes of Drive to Survive, and I'm already hating George Russell so much.
it's rough.
More than
It's rough.
we did
More than we did
before.
before. Because seeing the actual behind the scenes like attitude, he is off.
The man behind the helmet is not who we thought he was.
Yeah.
Really?
You get to see him when he crashed out, when Zhou Guanyu crashed out. And he spends the rest of the race just right over Toto's shoulder, just like looking at the screen. And I'm like, get away, George.
Just find
what are you
another
doing?
screen.
Well, he's getting information.
It's getting all the information.
He needs that information.
Hey, Toto, do you know what I would do right now?
I go way faster than that. He's like, okay, thank you, George.
Yeah.
We're so happy that we tried you out.
Yeah.
Don't get too comfortable.
But I think we're jumping ahead. But
I mean,
because I've only seen the 2 episodes of Drive to Survive.
I've only seen 4. I'm technically starting 5,
Yeah.
so I'm not very good. I'm not a very good resource here either. But it seems as though they have done a better job remaining a recap and way less of the fabricated drama. So I can say that I appreciate the approach so far.
Yeah.
It got just wrecked online that last season.
Yeah.
So good to hear that they give a crap about.
Because I wasn't looking forward to this season, honestly. I was like,
Me
I'll
either.
watch it, but like I'm not waiting up for it to come online and then like binge it all. I was like, I'll get to it and I'll go episode by episode. But it's going back to the old, just kind of like documentary, actual showing what happened style, and I'm like,
Oh,
I
that's
like
cool.
it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. I mean, I think a challenge in television storytelling, the first season had a magic story, which was that Daniel
magic.
Ricciardo was leaving Red Bull and Red Bull was leaving Renault. There was this feud that was just at the height of its conflict when they turned the cameras on. And they were like, we got to recreate that for every year.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, it doesn't always happen like that. And I
Yeah.
honestly think that was the challenge, is they felt like they needed to create something to match that.
Yeah.
It's a shame
Yeah.
because
Without-
it's not always that way.
Without giving too much away, is Haas getting the airtime it deserves?
Yeah. Gunter's a rock star as always.
Always.
Wow.
And they do a really good job at like bringing Kevin back in, and it's fun to see Kevin come back in that. It's like the first episode.
Yeah.
It highlights that first race with Kevin, and I loved it.
I remember that was something I said. I think direct quote to you was that if Netflix does anything other than start Drive to Survive with Haas, then I won't watch, period. Because I was like, it's the only story for the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
They highlight that crazy sponsorship drama they had, like first with Rich, and then with like Uralkali or whatever it was. And then it's like, what does Gunter do?
Right.
When like the Russian war starts, and then it just handles it really well, drops Mazepin, and then Kevin comes in like a rock star. Like, I just love this.
Yeah.
I love it.
It was really cool. It was really well done. So far, the only thing that I feel like is missing, and I've only heard a murmur of this, is that there is nothing from Brazil in this season.
That's
and
a
I'm
bummer.
like, Brazil was the pole.
Yeah.
And Brazil was George's win. There was a few really epic things that happened
That's
in
when
Brazil.
Max and Checo had their little scuff where Max wouldn't let Checo pass.
There's like the actual drama
Hamilton
of the
and
year
Lewis
happened
crashed in that race
Brazil.
too. Yeah, there's a lot that happened.
What the heck? How could you skip that race?
We'll see.
Yeah. So I haven't gotten there
Making
yet,
a
but
movie.
from what I've heard, that's missing, and that's a shame because
That's too bad.
that's usually a good drama point of the season.
sure.
So that's
We're gonna have to make our own documentary, Haas Boys documentary.
Yep.
And every episode is about Kevin getting pole. Just different perspectives.
It's just today we followed the caterer.
He loved it.
Okay, shifting gears. There's a lot that happened over the break besides liveries.
What else? Please tell me.
What else? Tell me of the
Please.
changes.
I feel like a shell of a man. I can't remember anything. Tell me.
We're bringing you back to life, Parker.
Please.
With the team principles.
It seems
We
as
had a
though
big shuffle.
that was like
hope, ethics,
Yeah.
honor,
Haas's new team
frugality,
frugality.
chastity.
Chastity, huge one. Gunter enforces that with a
Heavily.
belt.
Yes.
What kind of belt?
Nico and Kevin are both wearing belts right now.
What kind of belt?
Chastity belts.
Frugality.
Frugality is huge.
Yes.
These are
Frugality
the
is an
tenets that
FIA.
make up the Haas principles.
Yeah. we should make a series of like Haas corporate posters, like 90s corporate posters
Oh, yes.
of the team
Yeah.
principles.
Take screenshots of different Haas moments with like hanging in there, like
Yeah. Perseverance.
perseverance.
the big font along the bottom and then a picture of
Then a quote from Gunter.
Kevin. Yeah.
This is a great idea.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll be making those.
Get ready.
I'll be
Get
making
ready
those
for
tomorrow.
that in the merch store. Which, if you haven't checked out our merch store, it's popping.
It's popping. You have to find it,
Nope, nobody's found it yet.
but when you do,
You're gonna love
it's
it.
popping.
Yeah.
Really there.
So team principles, Mike.
Yes. Frugality.
Frugality.
I've never seen a team principal market that was more ridiculous than the driver's market.
Really?
There,
Oh.
we
This
saw
was
him-
absurd, huh?
It was a mad shuffle. So we knew that Mattia
But no.
was let go, right?
That was the first card to fall.
Why
Yes.
let go?
We loved you.
Mattia. Aw.
I think Netflix actually, speaking of which, they start the season off with Mattia and Gunter in a Fiat going through the mountains together. And I'm like, they're really trying to help Binotto. They're like, who does everyone like? Gunter.
Yeah.
Let's get them in the car together. I think this guy could use some fans.
Well, this is like preseason when he's on the way out and everybody knows.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, so
That's fun.
but
That's
we
a
know
good point.
we know that Binotto wagged his last finger.
Yeah.
So Fred Vasseur, which was part of our predictions, was hired as Ferrari team principal, leaving Alfa Romeo Sauber.
So Romeo had a
Which,
spot.
if you were listening last season, you would have known this already.
Yeah,
Because
we called it.
Getting mad at the new listeners.
We called it dummies.
So yeah, idiots.
You would have known.
So then came Andreas Seidel out of McLaren.
See, I always thought Zach Brown was McLaren's team principal.
He's the CEO.
Yeah, he acts like it though. It's weird.
Yeah.
Very involved.
Yeah.
So Andreas Seidel left McLaren. He was replaced with somebody that we don't know his name, and it doesn't appear to be going well.
At McLaren,
Which we're going to go to testing in a minute.
Isn't Mike Crack?
No, that's Aston Martin.
He went to Aston Martin.
Yeah, Mike Crack's at
Watch
Aston
your
Martin.
mouth. You watch your mouth.
Then Jos Capito left Williams and is no longer the team principal at Williams.
Did we even know him? I don't think I've ever said that name in my life.
No, we didn't really talk about
But the
him.
Alfa Romeo AlphaTauri guy was cool.
Franz Tost at AlphaTauri.
Yeah.
And he's still there.
okay.
So, but Williams, McLaren, Alfa Romeo, and Ferrari all had changes for their team principals, which was a massive swing.
More than
Big
half the
turnaround.
teams.
Yeah, Williams appointed James Vowles
Who's
as
that?
team principal.
Yeah, who's he?
Valtteri, it's James.
Oh,
from Mercedes.
Wow. Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, so
Wait, that's
that's James that we would hear over the radio
did
telling
Mercedes
him.
bump him? then?
No.
Like, did they get rid of him? Because it sounds like a step down.
Well, he's team principal, so he went from being an engineer at.
He's team principal.
He went to team
Got it.
principal at
Okay,
Williams.
cool. That makes sense.
So it's a big step. There is still a very cohesive relationship between Williams and Mercedes, as Williams
yeah.
is somewhat the farm team for the Mercedes camp.
Are they trying to set up James as the next Toto?
Who knows? But this would be, I mean, Toto did work with Williams first before he was at Mercedes. So in some regard, this is kind of the pathway. So James at Williams was a big announcement. McLaren and Alpha both did some hiring from within to kind of bring up a team principal. But Alfa Romeo's route was to not appoint a team principal yet. And so they have somebody who's like a technical director, but doesn't have a team principal. Today. So the position of team principal has been renamed and is something weird for them.
Huh. Weird.
And then, I mean, I'm forgetting right now, but I'm pretty sure that's where Andreas Seidel went, is that he's at Alfa Romeo.
Okay.
But he is not team principal.
Okay, weird. Yeah, that's a lot of shifting around.
It's a ton of shifting.
You got me thinking of a question. So it's like, how long has team principals been on a team? Like, what is they because they can just go forever,
right?
What is the maximum?
It's not like
team
presidents.
principal? Yeah, it's like a coach on a team.
Yeah.
You could be like Phil Jackson of the Lakers, and
Right.
like from Bulls to Lakers, just coach forever.
Right. And essentially, I mean, Toto Wolff is a third partner in Mercedes. It is Mercedes AMG, Ineos, and Toto Wolff. Those are the three partners
Holy crap,
That's
Toto.
huge.
in the team. So
Jeez.
if you guys want to know what kind of weight that guy brings to the table, it is wild.
I brought all this weight to the table.
If you
Right.
feel like you're going into the wall,
Checo
Don't.
told me how much weight I have. Ask him.
Ask him. It's paint.
So he could be there forever.
He could be there
And he's-
forever.
And he's amazing, honestly. Performance, like he brings results.
Yeah, and at some point, it's likely that he'll step aside, but he'll be involved in the team as long as he owns it.
Who are some famous team principals? I don't know if we're getting too off track, but I'm just like curious now. Like I've never even considered this question before. Who
Yeah.
are famous team principals?
Well, a duo that really dominated was Ross Brawn, who owned Brawn GP, which is now Mercedes. But Ross was team principal at Ferrari during Michael Schumacher's successful years. The CEO of Ferrari was also heavily involved at that time, and that was Jean Todt. And those two guys are both, well, I'm not sure. I think Jean has retired from the FIA, but he was head of the FIA for the last while. And Ross Brawn is also in the FIA. So they have both stepped into management roles from being leadership in the teams. But Ross, after Michael Schumacher's successful years, went over to Toyota and was racing Jenson Button Toyota when Toyota backed out during the crash in 2008. And then he bought the team.
Toyota?
Yep, Toyota was the team at the time.
Oh, weird.
and they sunk millions into the car.
Interesting.
So, anyways, but Ross Brawn was a very successful team principal. We've talked about him. Flavio Briatore is one of my favorite names of a human
cool
being.
name. Yeah.
And he was the one that got banned from Formula One for Crashgate
Gotcha.
with Fernando Alonso. So
Dang.
Flavio was
So he could have potentially still been around.
Go back to season 1 for that story.
Yeah.
for sure.
That's going to be a good joke all season long.
Yeah. Go back to season 1, dummy.
Reference season 37 or episode 37. Cliff notes. But yeah, so Flavio is a rock star. It was a big part of the sport. Top Gear, James May had Flavio sit with him in the car when they did laps around Monaco.
Oh, that's a great video.
It is so good. And Flavio's just back now. It's just so
Even Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah.
Did you see that?
I'm sure I've seen it, but I'm not recalling it. I need to go check it out.
it is
just-
so good.
Yeah, just like straight faced. James is like, oh, wow, going around the track. And Flavio's just like straight faced Jabba the Hutt.
I'm
And he's
just happy
swearing
that
his
the
head
Wallace
off.
and Gromit accent's back for season 2.
I think they're still back there. We can get them.
Yeah. And then Christian Horner rides with Richard, and Bernie Eccleston rides with Jeremy. So it's a
Okay, yeah,
it's a
I
good
think I
thing.
remember this. So Mike, like, what team principals are you excited to see in the
Well-
shift up? Like, how do you think Fred is going to do at
Shift up.
Ferrari?
I think Fred's history and background with Charles, I think, is already going to strengthen Ferrari by just
Because Charles started at Alpha.
correct.
Sauber.
Yes.
What was it always Alpha?
Yeah.
For Charles?
Oh yeah. So when he came to Sauber, it was Alfa Romeo, and the trajectory from him from the start, everyone knew that he was kind of headed for Ferrari. And Fred has run successful Formula 2 teams for a lot of years. Charles was one of his F2 drivers, and then when he came to F1, Charles then graduated to F1. And so their history
That's
is
going to be
deep.
great,
Yeah,
right?
and so it's just really good relationship between the two of them. They trust each other. They know how to get things done. Fred's already said that he's like really hit it off with Carlos. I think that they actually have a history as well at some point.
They
So-
dated in the 90s.
Yeah, it's
in the
sexual
90s.
history.
Carlos is younger than me.
It's Europe. It's different
Europe.
there. It's different there.
The heart wants.
So I'm really excited about Fred. I think
Heart wants what it wants.
Ferrari has a really good shot this year. I think.
That was, I think, like the missing thing last year was just like a terrible internal team like dynamic
And
Right.
just one guy.
and just one guy.
It's just one stinky clown. Stinky Binotto clown. And everybody knew it. Nobody was
Yeah.
saying it, though.
So are you saying that this year we're not going to get any team principal
no.
telling off Charles Leclerc right after a race
Here's
in
the
front of
thing
the
is that-
cameras?
Fred hasn't been there long enough, in my opinion, to make an enormous impact. So we are
Or to
checking.
tell those kids off. He hasn't been there long enough.
Yeah,
They don't know him like that.
yeah. We are checking is for sure still going to happen, in my opinion. I think we're still destined for
gosh,
a
we're
few
checking.
of those. But we will. I think at least
A lot of the things
decision
last
making
year
will
were
be better.
like, and decision making, like a lot of things last year that I saw that were mistakes were just like awful calls during the race.
Right,
Those are in the moment things. A team principal can tighten up and get rid of all the crap,
right,
right?
right. Stay out! Stay out! Just like
I'm already here.
I'm here. What are you doing?
I guarantee that was a Binotto thing, too.
Right.
It's just that he created such a crappy environment. Like, you've been on teams that have crappy
Yeah.
leaders.
Yeah.
And then dumb, easy decisions just don't get made because everybody's like walking on eggshells around the dumb leader. So
Right.
that'd be cool to see a dominant Ferrari because dominant Ferrari means
Dominant Charles.
that's right. We love Charles. It means dominant Haas. Max.
It means that we get the trickle down
Oh.
effect. So this is why we're Ferrari fans. It's a good.
I need to go
refer
listen to season one.
if you want to know why we're Ferrari.
go back to season 1, dummy.
Oh man, but I think that let's go into testing for a second.
I think testing would be great to hit before
Yeah.
we finish off. How much time do we have?
35 minutes.
Seconds left?
35 seconds left. Go!
Testing is
go!
No,
Yeah,
but
let's talk about testing.
let's talk about some winners and losers.
Yeah, we we all know like testing can mean nothing
It can, for sure.
because teams could be trying something, they could be sandbagging.
Right.
But I think should I start off with what I think is the most interesting thing?
Yes, go for it.
And it's what the picture that you probably texted me is, and this is what I need to learn from you. I don't think I've ever seen them. They put paint on the car or like a dust.
Oh, the high-vis fluoro paint.
Yeah, and then they drive around the track, and then they can see where that paint has flowed along their car, so they can kind of see how the air is reacting to their car. And there's the side, and I saw a bigger one today of all the cars, and Red Bull is just gorgeous. It's just like cutting through this gorgeous car, like it's perfect. Mercedes, it goes in like a couple inches, and then just a wall. It
looks like it falls off the car.
It's just like they have something wrong with their aero, and like McLaren looks awful. Like I don't even know if their paint made it past their front wheels.
Yeah. It's
really bad.
Man, and those pictures are public?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you should. Well, pull them up. You need to see them, Parker. You need to see them.
That's crazy because I'm sure these teams, the other teams, are getting tons of data from the other teams.
Yeah, testing.
That's
Is this kind of what testing is?
That's
It's
essentially what testing is what do you got? Like you're bringing your cards to the table and showing them finally. And so it is called FlowViz is what that paint is called.
It's a paint?
It is a paint.
Oh, it looks like a liquid.
Yeah.
It has to be so fine, right? Yeah, I
it's
thought it was glow in the dark stuff at first, and then for a while I'm like, oh, maybe it's like a fine powder.
Yeah, but it's meant to just be essentially neon so they can see it. It's a color of the car that the car isn't.
Is it kind of similar to in Ford v Ferrari when they put all the cotton balls on the car?
Yeah, like
and see where the air's hitting.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of just to kind of show you in wind as well. If you can drive the car in a windy scenario, that's going to tell you a bunch of things about having a crosswind versus a headwind and what the car is reacting with by using that paint.
Yeah.
And again, it's like a wind tunnel can only show you so much because there's a lot of things that it can't create, which a lot of the teams learned last year that porpoising was something that the wind tunnel did not show at all. It was only in actual use case that the car bounced. So here's at least a Red Bull and Mercedes side by side.
Oh my gosh, it's a mess.
It's like the Mercedes looks like like some milk spilled, like Lewis accidentally dropped his milk while driving.
They screwed it up last year too.
Right.
That's crazy that they didn't get it right this year.
And
like Red Bull, it's like a Sharpie line.
Right.
Of
it's weird.
Green.
Yeah.
And Mercedes is like somebody just took a can of paint and dumped it on it.
Yeah.
For those that haven't seen it,
we'll have to
Max,
find it
you
and
gotta
post
throw
it.
throw this up on the.
Well, and an interesting
show
thing about
notes.
this as well is that, like, it's hard to tell, especially from the outside of the cars, because this is the biggest characteristic of the new rules that is tricky, is that a lot of the magic is under the car.
Yeah.
So the hard thing is like, does Mercedes look like they botched it? 100%. But they're only botching it from the front wing back. Whereas, like on the top of the car, next to the wheel, next to the front wheel,
back.
But when we're talking about the underside of the car, which is going to really keep it on the ground, really allow it to kind of be pointy in the areas they want it to turn and whatever, those dynamics are the hidden parts. So unless Lewis flips it over in the first race, that's a secret.
Interesting.
So
Man.
I don't know why I'm singling him out, but George is the one that did flip Joe over, so maybe I should have gone with George on that one.
Yeah. But man, you can see the underside of Joe's car.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty clear.
But yeah, that's crazy. It's just Adrian Newey. He's just a freaking genius.
Yes, and also Mercedes has lost a few people to Red Bull. So there have been...
It's part of the game, honestly.
It is.
Horner's playing a game on all fronts.
He is.
And he's winning.
Yeah.
And, he had to take a budget hit.
Yeah.
Small budget hit overspending because his catering, air quotes, was too expensive. So, but in testing, so
he could
far...
have picked anything.
Yeah.
He really could have just picked any part of the budget.
And said it. But he said Max just eats too much. Which is true in our circle as well.
Yeah.
Just
Ooh, burn.
got him. And it's all those protein bowls. So...
You eat healthy.
McLaren, here's the thing. To me, the biggest loser of testing so far is McLaren. It's written all over their face. It's not sandbagging. They blew it, and they already know.
Didn't Lando punch a wall?
Yeah, there's a rumor that Lando punched a wall in the hospitality unit, hurting his hand because he was so frustrated on the poor performance of the car already.
Wow, that bad.
It's that bad.
Yeah, and contrast that. Where's Daniel?
He's getting paid to sit on a beach
18 million somewhere, happy as hell.
Yeah.
in a Red Bull shirt.
In a Red Bull shirt, waiting for Checo to screw up just once.
Just one time. It's sort of
I think
amazing.
that-
Yeah, he's wearing a Checo shirt because he's rooting for him to mess up.
It's that famous line from last season of Drive to Survive where Lando's like, I have no sympathy for him. Like, why should I have sympathy for him? It's like, came back around.
Yeah.
Yeah, like McLaren just didn't show up.
Seems like they've really missed their chance. It seems like, and at least these are the big gains, Aston Martin and Williams are both out of the gate swinging. I think Williams something like 4 seconds faster than testing last year, which is wild. That was a big jump.
Wow.
But Aston Martin was competing for top 3 in sector times with Fernando Alonso. So their new car is a sleeper. We're going to see where they... I mean...
It would be fun to throw some more in the mix.
It would be incredible, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think that Sebastian Vettel might throw his phone at his TV if Alonso gets a podium in his first weekend. But I also would be... I'd welcome it. I think Alonso in a competitive car is also just the best.
Let's talk about Haas. How did Haas do in testing? Yeah.
Really quick. So where can people go to watch this if they want to see some of this?
Recap.
Yeah.
YouTube is actually... Formula One's YouTube channel is pretty amazing at being able to pump out content and be able to provide something, even sometimes day of.
So they should just put in YouTube 2023 F1 testing.
Yep.
And
they
you'll
can
get like day highlights.
day highlights. And if you subscribe to Formula One's actual F1 TV, they do allow you to watch it live.
Cool.
And now that we're past testing, it's not as relevant anymore, but still F1 TVs is pretty cool for being able to get like a different perspective. You can choose onboard cameras, a lot of other kind of interesting things.
For anybody that's new to Haas Boys, we're going to be talking about a lot of these little things, little videos, bits and bobs that you can find on the internet. And so you're going to want to follow along.
Yeah. And
Make notes.
we still welcome everyone who's new. So please send in questions if you want clarification on something.
Yeah.
Because Mike probably has the answer.
I might. I don't know. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I said let's end on like how did Haas do in testing? Because we have a race this week. We're stoked about it. Should we
Right.
be stoked for Haas going into this race?
I mean, here's the thing. Again, testing says almost nothing. But what I have heard is that I kind of love the dude, and I forget his name, but the dude who does the technical stuff for Formula One. He's got he's got a big fro.
Yeah.
And he's just like, he's Haas's biggest fan. He's so secretive about it. But as
let's
soon as
get
I got
him
to
on
testing,
Let's get a interview.
Yeah,
with him.
let's get him.
yeah, as soon as they get to testing, it's his favorite garage to go to because he's like, they have the wind tunnel time. Haas has been investing there, and because they're not a top team, they're getting that wind tunnel time more than Ferrari, more than Red Bull. And so Haas has found a little nugget in the rules that they can run a small winglet on the inside of the front wing.
Because are you saying like where the wings kind of curve up at the ends?
Yeah,
They go vertical.
There's an offshoot and one that's like a second tier up.
And it's on
That's
the
another-
inside of those.
On the inside of those, which the rules were written last season to not have those. But something in the switch up for this season didn't have that. And so Haas has a new little winglet on the inside of their front wing.
3 seconds.
Yeah, I mean,
seconds faster.
Yes.
sometimes it's a 10th, but we'll take a 10th because that's just a 10th faster than AlphaTauri or whoever.
Yeah.
And so I think that usually, in a way, Haas is kind of on the forefront of the Ferrari developments. And so I think we're going to see some stuff out of Haas this year. And I think they sandbagged a little, to be honest.
Okay.
But
Cool.
Hulkenberg
We're about
and
to see some serious
Sandbags.
stuff. Sandbags.
Serious sand in those bags.
Go ahead.
Yeah, baby.
Go ahead and flood us. We've got sandbags.
Nico Hulkenberg.
He and Kevin
Friggin'
were
love
running
seeing it. Yeah,
pretty
they're
sixes.
2 old pros now just crushing it.
I love it.
Man, this is like our dream come true.
Yeah.
When
for
we
real.
started this podcast,
Nikita.
we could not have imagined this.
1 year ago today, we were trying to frame Mazepin as
A hero.
a driver.
Yeah, a driver. a racing driver.
And it was not going well.
And then we get K-Mag.
K-Mag.
And now we got Nico.
Yeah.
We got money in the bank. We got sponsors.
Shorty, what you drank.
And we are in much different straits than we were when we started this podcast.
Yeah, this is going to be great.
It's going to be amazing. And I'm really excited about it. And I know that there's a couple of rumors that some other American teams are interested in joining the sport. We got some Ford murmurs. Well, they've announced it. Ford and Red Bull are going to be partners. Andretti and Cadillac want to work together to get something going. But don't you worry. We're still the Haas boys. We're committed to this. We're here for the Haas.
Yeah, we're here for Haas.
It's a fun race this week. We're stoked.
Looking like a strong season.
Such a strong season. And we are stoked that we are back. We, had a great winter break along with the drivers. And now we're back full force, ready to get on the track.
Should we tell them about our new crew member?
We should. So I hate to break it to all the listeners out there. We have talked about writers and staff in the past.
And we fired
most of the time.
All the ones that we were talking about, fired.
We let them go.
The other ones might have been fake.
The ones that were real are gone.
But we have hired a new staff member.
We did.
His name is Kevin.
Kevin.
We are stoked to have him on. He's going to be doing a lot of outreach, helping us grow the podcast from behind the scenes. So we just give him a big shout out for all the work he is doing.
Yeah,
and you might recognize him as the Stroll Boy. Because he has been on the podcast in the past.
Yeah, but with Lance's cognitive facilities declining, he is coming over to the Haas team.
He's quiet quitting, Lance.
Lance's brain is quiet quitting his body.
He doesn't know how to tell Lawrence that he doesn't want to do this after
Lance's
he bought
brain,
an F1 team.
Lance's brain is quiet quitting his body. Kevin's gonna be doing if we might have we're gonna have some killer guests this season, and it's thanks to Kevin who's out there getting great people to bring on the pod.
Yeah, he's working full force. We're stoked about it. And so if you're listening, we thank you for listening. Please give us a good rating wherever you're listening at, Spotify, Apple, Amazon. We are available everywhere you listen to podcasts. So tell your friends. If you have questions, send us an email at dashaasboys@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram, haas.boys. We have Twitter, haasboys at Twitter. TikTok. Just check us out wherever we're going on Reddit.
We're everywhere.
We're everywhere, all to point us back to the podcast. So please follow and listen along.
And by the way,
it's going to be fun. Yeah, what?
There's great content that you're missing if you're not following us on social media.
Yes. We are giving away free Formula One cards.
Yeah.
That have been signed by me.
Yes, mostly Max at this stage.
So
we do race posters for many races throughout the week.
Yep.
We do, what else?
We're going to be doing motivational team posters.
Motivational Haas team posters.
For team principals.
And if you're just listening on podcasts, you're getting about half the picture.
Yeah.
So get online, go, whatever it is, TikTok, Instagram, whatever it is, get online, get connected.
Smash the subscribe button.
Because eventually we're going to have more guests because of Kevin. We're going to have hopefully some more giveaways and fun merch that will be given away. So
totally.
You're going to want to be a part of it.
Tune in.
Thank you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Peace.
One small
Podcast.
for man, one giant leap.
Who's your favorite band?
Dad.